What if I told you there are towns in America where the laws you live by simply don't matter? Places where gambling never stops, prostitution is legal, public nudity is tolerated, and behavior that would get you arrested elsewhere is completely allowed. These aren't myths or internet rumors, they're real towns you can visit right now. Today, we're counting down America's darkest towns, where sin isn't hidden. It's legalized, and trust me, number one will catch you completely off guard. Deadwood, South Dakota. Nestled in the Black Hills of South Dakota, Deadwood is a town that refuses to let go of its outlaw past. This former gold rush boomtown was once home to Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane, and today it embraces its lawless heritage through completely legal gambling. In 1989, Deadwood became one of the few places outside Nevada where casino gambling is permitted throughout the entire town. What makes Deadwood particularly dark is how it commodifies its violent history. Shootouts are reenacted daily, and the town profits from the murders and mayhem that once plagued its dusty streets. Over 80 gambling establishments pack the small historic district, creating a concentrated zone where fortunes change hands hourly. The town's saloons operate with the same frontier spirit that once saw men killed over card games, except now it's all sanctioned by the state. Deadwood proves that sometimes the darkest thing about a place isn't what happens in the shadows, but what happens in broad daylight with the government's blessing. The town has essentially turned human vice into a heritage industry, making millions annually from activities that built its blood-soaked reputation. Pahrump, Nevada. Just an hour outside Las Vegas sits Pahrump, a town that makes Sin City look tame by comparison. This unincorporated desert community is home to legal brothels, something prohibited even in Las Vegas itself. The Chicken Ranch and other licensed brothels operate openly here, with billboards advertising their services along the highway. What makes Pahrump truly dark is its anything-goes attitude that extends beyond prostitution. The town has minimal zoning laws, virtually no building codes, and a libertarian streak that attracts people running from something or someone. Survivalists, off-grid preppers, and those seeking to disappear have made Pahrump their home, creating a community that values anonymity above all else. The legal brothels employ hundreds and generate significant tax revenue, making sex work a cornerstone of the local economy. Former Madam Dennis Hoff, who owned multiple brothels, even won election to the state assembly while living here, cementing the town's reputation as a place where conventional morality doesn't apply. Pahrump represents the darkest interpretation of freedom, where consenting adults can engage in commerce that would be criminal elsewhere, no questions asked. New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans has always played by its own rules, but what many don't realize is just how much is actually legal here that isn't anywhere else in America. The city's famous open container laws allow you to walk the streets drinking alcohol from plastic cups at any hour, creating a perpetual party atmosphere that never ends. But the darkness runs deeper than Bourbon Street debauchery. New Orleans operates drive-through daiquiri shops where frozen alcoholic drinks are sold in styrofoam cups with lids and straws. Technically legal as long as the straw isn't inserted. The city's strip clubs are among the most permissive in the nation, with full nudity and alcohol coexisting in ways banned in most states. Voodoo shops sell everything from love potions to hexes, blurring the line between religion, commerce, and superstition. The city's attitude toward vice was forged in centuries of French and Spanish colonial rule, creating a legal gray area where activities exist in a space between lawful and criminal. After Hurricane Katrina, parts of New Orleans became even more lawless as people rebuilt without permits or oversight. The city's darkness isn't just in what's legal, but in the winking acceptance of what technically isn't. Burns, Oregon Burns, seems like an unlikely entry on this list, a remote ranching town in the high desert of eastern Oregon. But what makes Burns dark isn't what you can do here, it's what you can get away with. This town became the epicenter of anti-government sentiment when armed militants occupied the nearby Malheur National Wildlife Refuge in 2016, holding federal property for 41 days. While that occupation was illegal, it exposed Burns as a place where many residents view federal law as optional. particularly regarding land use, grazing rights, and gun regulations. The town exists in a legal gray zone where federal and state authority is openly contested. Locals regularly ignore environmental regulations, graze cattle on public lands without permits, and stockpile weapons in preparation for government overreach they believe is inevitable. What's legal in Burns isn't determined solely by written law, but by what the community will tolerate and what authorities will enforce. The county sheriff has more practical power than federal agents, creating a de facto system where local interpretation of constitutional rights supersedes federal statute. Burns represents the darkness of legal ambiguity, where remoteness and ideology combine to create a place where the rule of law becomes negotiable. Key West, Florida. At the southernmost point of the continental United States, Key West has cultivated a reputation as a place where American norms don't apply. This tiny island city has legal traditions that set it apart from the rest of Florida and the nation. Fantasy Fest, an annual October festival, features public nudity and sexual displays that would be illegal in virtually any other American city. But here it's completely sanctioned and even encouraged by local government. The city's historic tolerance for alternative lifestyles made it a haven for LGBTQ+ individuals long before same-sex marriage was legal, and that acceptance extended to other behaviors the mainland found objectionable. Key West's bars don't follow typical closing time regulations, creating an around-the-clock drinking culture. The island's geographic isolation from mainland Florida has created a distinct legal culture where enforcement is lax and local ordinances often contradict state law. Drug use is technically illegal but widely tolerated, with marijuana consumption happening openly in bars and on streets with little police intervention. The town once jokingly seceded from the United States in 1982, declaring itself the Conch Republic, a stunt that nonetheless reveals the island's fundamental attitude, that federal authority is more suggestion than command. Atlantic City, New Jersey. Long before Las Vegas dominated American gambling, Atlantic City was the original Sin City of the East Coast. Today, this decaying boardwalk empire represents the darkest side of legalized vice. Casino gambling has been legal here since 1978, but unlike Vegas's glamorous reinvention, Atlantic City shows what happens when gambling becomes the only industry. The city has the highest crime rate in New Jersey, with poverty surrounding the glittering casino towers like a moat. What makes Atlantic City particularly dark is that everything is legal inside the casinos. 24-hour gambling, unlimited alcohol service, and entertainment that pushes every boundary. Outside those casino walls, the city crumbles with boarded-up homes, drug addiction, and desperation. The casinos operate under special legal privileges that exempt them from many local regulations, creating sovereign territories where New Jersey law applies differently. Prostitution, while technically illegal, operates openly around the casinos with minimal enforcement, creating a shadow economy everyone acknowledges but nobody stops. Donald Trump built his empire here before several of his casinos went bankrupt, leaving economic devastation in their wake. Atlantic City proves that legalizing sin doesn't eliminate darkness. It concentrates it, creating zones of legal vice surrounded by illegal desperation. Winnemucca, Nevada. In the vast emptiness of northern Nevada sits Winnemucca, a town that exists primarily to service travelers on Interstate 80 and local ranchers. What makes Winnemucca dark is its concentration of legal activities found nowhere else in America. The town has legal prostitution, 24-hour gambling, completely unrestricted gun sales, and some of the loosest alcohol laws in the nation. Brothels like the Villa Joy operate with neon signs visible from the highway, advertising their services to truckers and travelers without shame. The town's casinos never close, creating a temporal void where day and night become meaningless concepts. Winnemucca's gun shops sell firearms with minimal paperwork, taking advantage of Nevada's permissive laws and the fact that the nearest major city is hours away. The town has positioned itself as a libertarian paradise where consenting adults can engage in any vice their wallet allows. What makes this particularly dark is the deliberate economic strategy behind it. Winnemucca has built its economy on activities that are crimes in most of America. The town's isolation amplifies its lawlessness. There's a sense that what happens in Winnemucca stays in Winnemucca, not because of clever marketing, but because nobody else is watching. Reno, Nevada. Before Las Vegas existed, Reno was America's original divorce capital and Sin City. Today, it maintains that dark legacy while Vegas gets the headlines. What makes Reno darker than its southern sibling is its desperation. This is where gambling goes to die. The casinos are older, grimmer, and filled with locals playing penny slots with their social security checks rather than tourists on vacation. Reno legalized gambling in 1931 and prostitution in surrounding Washoe County, creating a century-long experiment in monetizing human weakness. The city's divorce laws once allowed people to establish residency in just 6 weeks, then dissolve marriages that other states wouldn't touch, making Reno the destination for anyone seeking to escape their past. That legal tradition of offering fresh starts to those running from something continues today. Reno has become a destination for those who've been banned from Vegas casinos, creating a lower tier of gambling degeneracy. The legal brothels just outside city limits, like the Mustang Ranch, operate with a tacit approval of Reno's economy, which relies on visitors seeking what they can't get elsewhere. Reno represents the original American Sin City, now faded and desperate, still offering the same legal vices but without the pretense of glamour. Las Vegas, Nevada. The most obvious entry on this list is also the most comprehensive. Las Vegas isn't just a place where sin is legal. It's a city literally built on making vice profitable and respectable. Gambling operates 24 hours a day in hundreds of casinos, generating billions in revenue. But Vegas's darkness extends far beyond slot machines. Prostitution, while technically illegal in Clark County, operates so openly that escorts advertise on billboards and hand out cards on the Strip with minimal interference. The city's legal framework is designed to maximize profit from human weakness, while maintaining a thin veneer of legitimacy. What happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas because it's secret. It stays because it's so normalized that nobody cares. The city has legalized practices that would cause scandals elsewhere. Serving alcohol 24 hours, allowing people to gamble while intoxicated, extending unlimited credit to compulsive gamblers, and creating an environment where addiction is the business model. Strip clubs operate with full nudity and alcohol, a combination banned in most states. The city's legal protections for casinos are so extensive that they can refuse service to anyone, including people who win too much. Las Vegas has convinced America that its darkness is actually entertainment, making it the most successful normalization of vice in human history. Amsterdam of America, Provincetown, Massachusetts. The number one spot goes to a town most people wouldn't suspect, Provincetown, Massachusetts. This small fishing village at the tip of Cape Cod has created a legal environment unlike anywhere else in America. While it doesn't have the obvious vices of Vegas or Atlantic City, Provincetown has achieved something darker. It's made alternative lifestyles and behaviors so completely normalized that they've become law. The town has the highest concentration of LGBTQ+ residents in America and has passed local ordinances that protect behaviors and expressions that remain controversial elsewhere. Public nudity is effectively legal at certain beaches and during events like the annual Carnival Parade, where body painting substitutes for clothing without police intervention. The town's bars and clubs operate under special entertainment licenses that permit activities banned in the rest of Massachusetts. What makes Provincetown truly dark is how it's achieved legal protection for its culture through municipal ordinances that supersede state law in practice. The town essentially operates as an autonomous zone where community standards replace conventional morality as the basis for law. Drugs flow openly in certain establishments, prostitution operates discreetly, and what qualifies as public decency is determined locally rather than by Massachusetts state code. Provincetown proves that America's darkest places aren't always in the desert or on the bayou. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight in New England, where legal frameworks have been quietly rewritten to protect a way of life that exists nowhere else in the country. These towns don't exist by accident. They survive because the system allows certain lines to be crossed, legally. But if you think this was the darkest side of America, the story doesn't end here. Click on the 10 most shocking secrets of LA's Skid Row, a place where the law fades into the background and survival becomes the only rule because what happens there makes these towns feel controlled by comparison. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and keep exploring the strange side of our world with Oddly Abroad.